Picture this. It's a sunny Saturday morning. You walk onto the car lot and there it is. The paint is gleaming under the showroom lights. You open the door and that intoxicating new car smell hits you like a drug. You sit in the driver's seat, grip the leather steering wheel, and for a moment you feel powerful. You feel successful. You imagine pulling up to your high school reunion or your office parking lot in this machine. The salesperson sees the look in your eyes. They smile not because they are happy for you, but because they know they have you. They usher you into a small glass-walled office. The mood changes. It's no longer about horsepower or heated seats. It's about making the numbers work. The finance manager, a guy with a nice watch and a firm handshake, slides a piece of paper across the desk. He doesn't ask you what the car costs. He asks the deadliest question in personal finance. How much do you want to pay per month? You say a number. He taps on his calculator, frowns a little, and then says, "I think we can make that happen." You sign the papers, feeling relieved. You get the keys. You drive off the lot feeling like a winner. But you didn't win. You just walked into a mathematically engineered trap. You didn't buy a car. You bought a liability that is losing value every second, financed with money that is costing you a fortune. While you are celebrating your new monthly payment, the dealership is celebrating the fact that you just agreed to pay double what the car is actually worth over the next 7 years. You are driving a depreciating asset while chained to an appreciating debt. And the worst part? The system was designed to make you feel smart while you were signing your freedom away. The story I just told you about the car dealership isn't an isolated incident. It is the blueprint for how almost everything is sold to us today. Look around your house. The smartphone in your pocket? Financed over 24 months? The sofa in your living room? 0% interest for a year, if you don't miss a payment. Even your vacation, your clothes, and your dinner can now be split into 4 easy payments. We have undergone a massive cultural shift where the question, "How much does this cost?" has been completely replaced by, "How much is the monthly payment?" This shift wasn't an accident. It was a carefully engineered psychological coup designed by financial institutions and marketing departments. They figured out a flaw in the human brain. We are terrible at calculating long-term costs, but we are great at budgeting monthly cash flow. Here is the dirty secret they don't want you to know. The financing is often the real product. The car, the phone, or the furniture is just the bait to get you to sign the loan contract. In many cases, car dealerships make more profit from the financing office, selling you loans, warranties, and insurance, than they do from the steel and rubber sitting on the lot. They aren't in the business of selling cars, they are in the business of selling debt. When you focus on the monthly payment, you become blind to the 3 variables that actually matter: the total price, the interest rate, and the length of the loan. You stop acting like a rational buyer and start acting like a passive subscriber to your own life. In this video, we are going to reverse engineer this trap. We are going to look at how they manipulate the math to hide the truth, the psychological triggers they use to make you sign, and how you can escape the cycle of endless payments to actually own your life again. To understand how the trap works, you have to understand the magician's favorite trick, misdirection. When you sit down in that finance office, the manager is playing a shell game. He puts 3 shells on the table: the price of the car, the interest rate, and the term length of the loan. He tells you to keep your eye on the monthly payment, but while you are staring at that one number, he is moving the other shells around to rob you blind. The math is actually quite simple, but they count on you being too stressed to do it in your head. Here is the golden rule of financing. You can lower any monthly payment if you're willing to stay in debt longer. Let's say you are looking at a $30,000 car. If you were to pay that off in 3 years, which used to be the standard, your payments would be high, around $900 a month. That number scares people. It forces them to realize they can't actually afford the car. So the dealer smiles and says, "Don't worry, I can get that payment down to $450. You feel a wave of relief. You think he just gave you a discount. He didn't. He simply grabbed the term shell and stretched the loan from 3 years to 7 years, 84 months. Here is what just happened to your wealth. First, you are now paying interest for more than double the time. On a standard interest rate, that lower payment just added $3,000 to $5,000 in pure interest profit, to the lender's pocket. You are paying thousands of dollars more for the exact same car just to feel comfortable today. Second, and this is the killer, depreciation. Cars lose value incredibly fast. In the first year alone, a new car loses about 20% of its value, but your loan balance is going down painfully slow because you stretched out the payments. This creates a phenomenon called being underwater or having negative equity. By year 3, the car might be worth $18,000, but because you chose the 7-year loan, you still owe $22,000 to the bank. You are trapped. You cannot sell the car because you don't have the cash to cover the difference. You are effectively paying a premium price to drive a used car that you don't even truly own. And the industry loves when you are underwater. Why? Because when you come back in 3 years to trade it in, they will say, "No problem. We'll just take that $4,000 you still owe and roll it into your next loan." Now you are financing the new car plus the ghost of the old car. This is how people end up with $50,000 loans for cars that are worth $30,000. It is a snowball of debt that starts with a single question. What do you want your monthly payment to be? The illusion is that affordability means, can I make the payment this month? But true affordability is, can I pay for the asset without destroying my future net worth? By focusing on the monthly flow, you are ignoring the total drain. You aren't buying a vehicle. You are renting money at a premium price. We know the math is rigged. We know stretching loans leads to financial disaster. So why do millions of smart, rational people sign these contracts every single day? Because the system isn't just attacking your wallet, it's attacking your brain. Financing is the ultimate hack for the human reward system. Our brains are evolutionarily wired to prioritize immediate gains over long-term benefits. A dopamine hit today feels vastly more valuable than financial security 10 years from now. This cognitive bias is called hyperbolic discounting, and lenders exploit it ruthlessly. When you see that shiny new car or that expensive 85-inch TV, your primitive brain wants the reward immediately. But your rational brain sees the $40,000 price tag and slams on the brakes because the pain of parting with that much cash at once is too intense. Financing removes that pain. It bridges the gap between your desire and your reality. By breaking a massive, painful number into a small, manageable monthly number, it anesthetizes the part of your brain that registers financial danger. You get the full dopamine rush of acquiring the item without experiencing the corresponding pain of paying for it. It feels like magic. It feels like a cheat code for life. But there is a deeper psychological hook: status anxiety. We live in a culture obsessed with outward appearances. We judge success by what people drive, wear, and live in. Financing allows people to project an image of wealth that has absolutely no basis in reality. You see your neighbor pull up in a brand new luxury SUV and think, wow, they must be doing great. But you aren't seeing their success, you are seeing their debt load. You are seeing a $900 monthly lease payment that is keeping them awake at night. Financing has democratized luxury, allowing almost anyone with a pulse and a decent credit score to look rich while actually slowly going broke. The industry has normalized this behavior to the point where not having debt feels weird. If you drive a 10-year-old paid-off car, people ask if everything is okay. The system has successfully convinced us that living paycheck to paycheck in order to service debt on depreciating assets is just how the world works. They use pressure tactics that play on your insecurities. Don't you deserve this? Think how safe your family will be in this vehicle. They weaponize your own emotions against your bank account, rushing you to sign before your rational brain has a chance to catch up. They know that if you leave the lot to think about it, the dopamine will wear off and the deal will die. Can I just stop the script and be real with you for a second? Talking about this stuff, it's heavy. It brings up a lot of shame for people. I know because I've felt it. When you're trapped in this cycle, it feels like everyone else has it figured out except you. It feels isolating. But I want you to know something. You are not bad with money. You are just navigating a system engineered by geniuses to extract wealth from you. It's not a fair fight. If you are tired of feeling like you're swimming upstream in a system designed to drown you, I want you here with us. This isn't just another finance channel where I lecture you. I want this to be a lifeboat. If that resonates, hit that subscribe button, not for the algorithm, but as a quiet promise to yourself that you're done playing their game. And please, down in the comments, be honest with me. What's the one debt that keeps you up at night? The one that gives you that pit in your stomach? Let's actually talk about it down there and support each other, because you shouldn't have to carry that worry alone. We have talked about the math, and we have talked about the psychology. But there is one final, devastating layer to this trap that most people never see until it is too late. It is called opportunity cost. In economics, opportunity cost is the value of the next best alternative that you give up when you make a choice. When you commit to a $600 monthly car payment, you aren't just spending $600. You are actively deciding not to use that $600 for anything else. You are destroying the potential of that money. Let's look at the true cost of that car payment over a lifetime. Imagine two people at age 25. Person A buys a new car and commits to a perpetual $500 monthly payment. Every time they pay a car off, they trade it in and get a new loan, keeping that $500 payment going until they retire at age 65. Person B decides to drive a reliable, paid-off used car and takes that same $500 a month and invests it in a standard index fund averaging an 8% return. After 40 years, Person A has a driveway full of rusted metal and memories of new car smells that faded decades ago. They have nothing to show for that money because cars are assets that go to zero. Person B. That $500 a month didn't just disappear, it grew. After 40 years, that investment account is worth roughly $1.7 million. Let that sink in. The decision to finance a new car didn't cost Person A $30,000. It cost them $1.7 million of their future net worth. That is the price of the trap. You aren't just paying interest to a bank, you are robbing your future self of financial independence to drive a slightly nicer car today. But the opportunity cost isn't just about retirement numbers, it's about your daily freedom. When you finance your life, when you have a car payment, a furniture payment, a phone payment, and a credit card bill, you are building a cage. You are pre-selling your future labor. When you wake up on Monday morning and you hate your job, you cannot quit. You cannot take a risk to start a business. You cannot take 6 months off to travel or care for a sick family member. Why? Because the payments are due on the 1st. The bank owns your time before you even clock in. This is why the system loves financing. It creates obedient workers. When you have debt, you are terrified of losing your income. So you put up with a toxic boss, you work the overtime you don't want to work, and you stay in the safe lane. Financing liabilities is the modern version of indentured servitude. You are trading your life force, your time, your energy, your creativity, for things that will end up in a landfill. The ultimate flex isn't a luxury car in the driveway. It is the ability to wake up in the morning and say, I own my day. That is what you are giving up every time you ask, what's the monthly payment? You have to stop viewing money as something to spend and start viewing it as a tool for freedom. Every dollar you send to a finance company is a soldier you are sending to fight for their wealth instead of yours. Breaking free from the payment trap isn't just a financial decision, it is an act of rebellion. You are choosing to opt out of a system that was specifically designed to harvest your wealth and keep you docile. It won't be easy. The marketing is relentless, the social pressure is real, and the dopamine hit of buying new things is powerful. But now you know how the magic trick works. You know that the low monthly payment is just a mask for a high-cost cage. The next time you walk into a dealership or a store and a salesperson asks that deadly question, what monthly payment are you looking for? I want you to pause, remember the math, remember the opportunity cost, remember the $1.7 million you are potentially setting on fire. Look them in the eye and say, I don't care about the monthly payment. I care about the total price out the door. Watch how the energy in the room shifts. You have just taken the power back. You might drive a slightly older car. You might have a slightly smaller TV. You might not look as rich as your neighbors on Instagram. But while they are stressing about payments on the 1st of the month, you will be sleeping soundly. While they are trapped in jobs they hate to service their debt, you will be building a war chest of freedom. The goal isn't to never buy nice things. The goal is to buy them on your terms, with your money, when you can actually afford them, not when a bank gives you permission to rent them. You deserve to own your life, not just finance a lifestyle. The key to the cage is in your hand. It's time to unlock the door and walk out. Thanks for watching Logan Insights. If this video woke something up in you, share it with a friend who needs to see the truth. Let's stop paying for the past and start investing in our future. I'll see you in the next one.